Imagine standing in a place so influential that it shaped the very foundation of how you live today, your language, your laws, your beliefs, even your dreams. But here's a question you probably never thought about. What makes a city important? Is it the skyscrapers that pierce the clouds, the bustling trade routes, or the revolutionary ideas that sprouted from its street? Perhaps it's all of them. Or perhaps it's something deeper, something almost intangible. What if the cities we're about to explore held the keys to understanding humanity itself? Intrigued? You should be. Let's begin. Picture this: the sun rising over Babylon. The air hums with the sounds of bustling markets and chariots clattering down dusty streets. This isn't just any ancient city. It's the birthplace of the world's first legal code. Yes, Hammurabi's code. Imagine living in a place where the phrase "an eye for an eye" wasn't just a saying, it was law. But Babylon was more than laws and justice. It was a city of dreams, home to the Hanging Gardens, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Yet, for all its grandeur, Babylon fell. Why? Were its people too ambitious, too complacent, or simply victims of the tides of history? And here's the eerie part. Could our modern cities face the same fate? Speaking of ambition, let's move to the eternal city, Rome. Now, when you think of Rome, what comes to mind? Gladiators? The Colosseum? Julius Caesar declaring, "Veni, vidi, vici"? Sure, those are the highlights, but Rome's true genius was its infrastructure. Roads that stretched across continents, aqueducts that brought water to millions. It was a city designed to last forever. Or so they thought. Picture yourself sitting in the Colosseum, surrounded by 50,000 roaring spectators. The excitement, the energy, the sheer spectacle, it's intoxicating. But behind the scenes, Rome was crumbling. Political corruption, economic instability, and invasions chipped away at its foundation. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Are the great cities of today, New York, Tokyo, London, immune to the same forces? Or are we just delaying the inevitable? Let's take a leap to the east, to Chang'an, the crown jewel of the Tang dynasty. Imagine walking through its streets during the height of its glory. Traders from Persia, India, and the Middle East fill the markets, their stalls overflowing with silk, spices, and stories from distant lands. It wasn't just a city, it was the world's cultural crossroads. Philosophy, art, cuisine, everything flourished here. Fun fact: the dumplings you ordered last week? They're culinary descendants of Chang'an's vibrant food culture. But even this great city wasn't invincible. Rebellion and political turmoil reduced it to a shadow of its former self. Isn't it ironic? The more interconnected a city becomes, the more vulnerable it seems to be. Now, hold that thought, because we're heading to Baghdad during the Islamic Golden Age. If you think Silicon Valley is impressive, Baghdad would have blown your mind. This was a city of scholars and scientists, a place where knowledge was sacred. While Europe stumbled through the Dark Ages, Baghdad was inventing algebra, preserving ancient Greek texts, and exploring the stars. Can you imagine a library so vast that it was called the House of Wisdom? But here's the tragedy. All it took was one invasion to turn this beacon of enlightenment into ashes. A chilling reminder of how fragile greatness can be. From the deserts of the Middle East, let's plunge into the icy waters of St. Petersburg, a city born from sheer determination and a bit of madness. Peter the Great wanted to modernize Russia, and he decided to build a city on a swamp to do it. Think about that for a second. Who looks at a swamp and says, "Yes, this is where I'll create a masterpiece"? But Peter did. He dragged Russia, kicking and screaming, into the modern age. Thousands died building his window to the west, but what emerged was a city of breathtaking beauty and ambition. Was it worth it? That's for you to decide. Let's shift gears. Ever heard of Persepolis? It was the ceremonial capital of the Persian Empire, a city so grand that even Alexander the Great couldn't resist burning it to the ground. Or Teotihuacan, the mysterious metropolis in Mesoamerica with pyramids that rival Egypt. These cities weren't just built, they were sculpted, as if the very earth was shaped to reflect the heavens. And yet, they're ruins now. Silent reminders of what happens when empires overreach. But history isn't all about rise and fall. Let's talk about New York City, the modern marvel. From humble beginnings as a Dutch trading post to becoming the cultural and financial capital of the world, New York is a testament to resilience. It survived terrorist attacks, economic collapses, and even a global pandemic. The skyline, the diversity, the energy, it's unmatched. But here's the real question. Is New York the Rome of our era, destined to thrive forever? Or is it walking the same precarious path? And just when you think we've reached the end, here's the twist. The most important city in history might not even exist yet. Somewhere, right now, an architect is sketching plans for a city that could redefine the future. Or maybe it's a programmer coding the first true digital metropolis in the metaverse. The cities of the past have shaped us, but the cities of tomorrow, they're ours to shape. So, I leave you with this. History doesn't belong to the past. It's alive, it's breathing, and it's waiting for you to make your mark. The cities we've built are mirrors of who we are and who we aspire to be. What will your reflection look like? And which city will tell your story?